Let's get into another spooky story. This one is about Chris Kramers and Lisanne Froon. They were college-age girls from the Netherlands who went all the way to Panama for what was going to be like this beautiful, picturesque workaway trip. So while the girls are there, they end up going to hike in the El Pianista rainforest, but the girls never came back. So this is what's always kind of freaked me out about this story, is that nobody hears from the girls. They're completely gone for about 2.5 months until a harrowing discovery is made. The backpack of one of the girls is found placed by the Serpent River. But what was a lot more unnerving was what they found inside the backpack. Okay, we're gonna take care of this mask. There is a lot of stuff that they found in that backpack, but the most interesting to me is the camera. The camera had 90 pictures on it, all of which were taken in the dark of that rainforest. But the red herring for me has always been that one of those pictures was deleted. It was deleted using a computer. You just try to explain how that would be possible in the rainforest. Remains of the girls were found, but what really happened to them in those woods, we don't fully know.
This poor girl encountered the Serbian dancing lady. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my last video. The Serbian dancing lady is a woman that dances the street at night. She carries a knife with her, and if she encounters someone, then check out her encounter. It's believed to be bad luck if you make eye contact with her, which she did. It's scary because there's been so many sightings of this lady recently. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe. For more scary content, check out my YouTube channel, link in bio.
Have you ever heard of the Night Lady? Well, back in 2009, residents of Chihuahua, a city in Mexico, began noticing something very disturbing. A mysterious woman known only as the Night Lady would climb onto rooftops during the day only to break into homes through windows at night and snatch children. One child ever survived this abduction, and he recounted waking up to find the Night Lady staring at him with a knife in her hand. But now listen to this. People dismissed this as a hoax, but on one occasion a teenage girl managed to capture a photo of the Night Lady from her ground floor window. The very next day another child had disappeared. Despite an extensive investigation, the Night Lady was never caught, and the lost children were never found. Follow for more.
These are scary apps you should never download, part 1. Up first is the Death Alert app. This app contains a database of a lot of people, and when one of them dies, you get an alert on your phone, where your phone will literally scream at you. You would then be shown the name of the person who died, their age, and how they died. And what's even creepier is that whenever you get an alert for someone dying, your background on your phone changes to a childhood picture of them. Next is the Girls Around Me app. This app allows you to view the location of any girl around you. It shows their location, public info, and photos. This app is super creepy and just disturbing because it's literally used just to spy on girls. Just imagine being a girl and finding out somebody is stalking you on Girls Around Me.
I keep seeing videos about how our timelines are all messed up, like how I didn't know that woolly mammoths were around at the same time that the pyramids were being built, but there's actually so many other weird overlaps that are blowing my mind. And before we dive in, if you love the spooky and dark, you'll love the podcast. Like how Dali died the same year that Daniel Radcliffe was born. And even weirder, Eminem and Picasso were alive at the same time for 2 years. Rosa Parks lived long enough to be able to see the first 2 Shrek movies in theaters. And let's not forget that in her lifetime, she actually sued the band Outkast. When the Declaration of Independence was being signed, no one knew that dinosaurs even existed. Like, dinosaurs had actually not been discovered yet. And let's not forget that Cleopatra was born closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the actual pyramids being built. This one sounds fake, but is totally real. The last person to collect a pension from the Civil War died the year that Obama took office. And finally, the oldest tree alive today was around at the time of woolly mammoths. And not only that, but when the last woolly mammoth died, this tree was already 1,000 years old.
Earth's Scariest Places, part 47.2. In my previous video, I talked about Riverdale Road, America's most haunted stretch of road. If you haven't seen that one yet, go ahead and check out part 1. In this video, I'm going to talk about why this place is haunted. And It's creepy. All started with these two. David Wolpert moved his wife and 2 children to this house out in the country outside of Denver, Colorado in the mid-1900s. And on February 27th, 1975, the house burned down. Although there's no true evidence of arson, the locals say that David went crazy and burnt down the house, killing his family, saying he was possessed by the devil. But again, there's no proof of this. After the house burnt down, the only things that remain are ruins and this iron gate, which has been nicknamed the Gates to Hell. Ever since the house burnt down, people have been experiencing paranormal activity, disappearing, and dying on the road leading up to the house. What do you think?
And then they heard the scream. The sun was setting beyond the mountains as Olivia and her friends arrived to their campsite. They had planned this trip for months, excited to spend the weekend in nature and escape their busy lives. But as soon as they entered the woods, Olivia felt a shiver run down her spine. It was as if the trees were watching them, and the sounds of their footsteps seemed to echo unnaturally. As they set up camp, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. She tried to ignore it and enjoyed the evening, but the unease persisted. And then as they sat around the fire, they heard it. Whispers coming from the darkness beyond their campsite. At first they thought it was just wind, but as the whispers grew louder, they realized it was something entirely different. The whispers sounded like a chorus of voices all speaking at once in a language they couldn't understand. Olivia's friends tried to brush it off, but she knew that they were all frightened. And then suddenly the whispers stopped. The silence was even more terrifying than the whispers had been. Olivia felt a cold sweat on her skin as she listened intently, waiting for something to happen, and then they heard the scream. It was coming from the direction of the whispers, and it sounded like it was getting closer. Olivia and her friends huddled together, too scared to move, and then out of the darkness came a figure. It was humanoid, but its skin was gray and its eyes glowed in the dark. Olivia's friends screamed and ran, but she was frozen in fear. The creature approached her slowly, its whispers now audible in her mind. It spoke in a language she couldn't understand, but she knew it was promising her something terrible. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the creature vanished. Olivia was left alone in the dark, trembling with fear. She waited for what felt like hours, too scared to move until the sun rose and her friends returned. They were all shaken by what had happened, but they tried to convince themselves that it was just a nightmare. But Olivia knew the truth. The whispers in the woods were real, and they were waiting for their next victim. As she packed up her things and left the campsite, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. And then she heard the whispers again, promising her something even more terrifying than before.
What would you do if you came home to find your neighbors summoning demons? Well, that's what happened in this video. Check it out.
I'm going for a walk and I look up and I see my neighbors.
Nah, because they definitely all saw you, so time to move. Also, y'all have blinds for a reason. Like and follow for more spooky content.
1 Minute Scary Stories, Episode 4. I heard it too. As I sit in my room listening to my music, I hear my mom call from down the hall, Jessica. She calls, I shout back, what? As usual, I hear nothing back. Until a few moments later, I hear it again, my mother shouting, slightly more annoyed, Jessica.
It's not my fault that you're lonely. I know you feel like having conversations, but please don't put that shit on me. No, this happy hour don't need complications. I'm doing great, I'm feeling fine. Don't need your